So this morning we are with Claire, who's one of our person coaching clients at the moment, and we're going to just take a little bit of time to find out a little bit more about her in terms of what she's been doing recently and what she was doing previous to us. So, Claire, just first of all, just a sentence or two, just to introduce yourself.
Okay, so I'm Claire. You've probably all seen my pictures and probably things that Sarah has posted. I am 34, 35 in January, and a full-time mum to 3 kids, ages from 12 until 6. I've been with Sarah now for exactly 1 year.
Awesome. Right, first of all, tell us a little bit about what you were doing previous to the coaching in terms of where you were with certain things and whatnot.
Okay. When I started with Sarah, I was knee-deep probably in anxiety and really bad depression, which actually didn't hit its peak till the May before I started with Sarah. But I had been in really bad anxiety and depression for at least 9 years, actually, after I had my middle daughter, Libby. I had suffered a miscarriage between my eldest and my daughter. And then I just went straight back into a really bad, it probably started off like a postnatal depression because I seemed to lose the baby and get pregnant really quick. So I didn't grieve in the middle, and then I had a baby, and then I just was head first into postnatal depression. But looking back, I probably suffered from anxiety for probably all my life, from really young age, and just never realized that that's what it was. It was just something that was my personality, and I just had never got to the point where I needed help before. So when I hit those 9 years ago, that's when I started medicating. And I tried every medication under the sun, and it kind of worked for a while, and then I would either fall off the wagon and stop taking it, or it just didn't agree with my body. I seen many therapists. I actually seen a therapist who came to the home who would have been more like a postnatal depression nurse. I then seen a behavioural therapist nurse, to the point then where I was seeing a psychiatrist. I seen him for 4 or 5 years, and right up until maybe last year, I was seeing him at least once a month. And at that stage, I was still on medication. While seeing him, and I did obviously fluctuate with what medications I was on and what medications I didn't take. So that's where I was when I started health-wise with Sarah. I was not in a good place at all.
Yeah, tell us. So obviously being with the anxiety, the depression, the medication, and seeing people and speaking to people, what sort of impact was that having on your sort of life at the moment at that time?
At the time with Sarah, I was just like in a cocoon, and I would have been very good at putting this, like, I faked it. I would have been able to go out of the house and be mum without having that breakdown. I was very self-conscious of, I would not let the kids see me break down. But when you're on your own at those really horrible times, then I broke down, and there was only so much faking it that I could do before I just crumbled. Then my friends knew but didn't see, because I would have been very vocal about, I'm having anxiety, but they never probably seen the full extent of how bad it was. I mean, I would have pulled my own hair out. I would have scratched at my own skin. I would have went to the point where I overate or I underate. There was no middle ground for me. And then between all that, my husband then had a really bad accident in, trying to think of the day, May 2013, where he was crushed between 2 oil tankers. So I went from having a husband who worked and supported the family to having a young child who would have been just turning 1, and I had to look after my husband, which meant cooking, cleaning, injecting him. So at that stage, I had no option but either to sink or swim, and I coasted. For that year that he was really up, I coasted, and when he was better, I crashed. And then that's whenever I kind of found I needed something else, because I couldn't medicate anymore. I was still seeing my psychiatrist, but nothing was changing. It was just like a linear phase for me, and nothing had progressed.
With regards to, like, you had a career job at that time, tell us a little bit about that, because just from speaking to you before and other done, you put that, you sort of shelved that or put that to the side. So what sort of impact did you, tell us a little bit more about that?
I've had such a rocky when I think back. I actually worked for myself doing weddings, wedding check covers, and that was whenever my husband had his accident, so that had to stop. and I felt pregnant. I all had to kind of go by the ball. And then my husband and myself and another business partner, we had our own business, and things just didn't work out. So as in the middle of my prep, my business world just crashed. There was nothing. I had a husband now works away, but prior to that, I was a beautician. I stopped it. I worked actually in a gym as a beautician. I never once stepped foot in the gym floor. I absolutely hated going into work because it was on a gym floor. The anxiety would have made me just unbearable to even conversate with strangers. Everything, I worried about everything, what people thought, what people said, how I looked. Everything was just a huge deal. The smallest thing became like this huge mountain that I just could not see past. I would just have avoided situations. If it was a new situation, no, can't do that. Wouldn't travel, wouldn't stay out the home, wouldn't even let anybody else look after my kids. At one stage, were like, no, they were glued to me, parents, friends, family. I wouldn't let them decide. It became like I lived in my own little world and everything else just kind of happened around me.
So you had a lot of things sort of on pause at the moment with career, other things.
Yeah.
All sort of linked back to the confidence side of things in terms of how you felt about yourself and how you looked and stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
You came on board then with Sarah, so you've been in for a year. Okay, so we'll talk about the results side of things and whatnot in a moment. In terms of how all of this has changed, in terms of the anxiety, the depression, the medication, the new career, tell us a little bit about how all of this has changed over the last year.
I actually found you guys by another friend of mine kind of inviting me onto the group, because I was doing, after I had Luke, probably he was about 3, so he's just coming 7. I was doing workouts. I did the Zumba route, where I would have gone with like 2 or 3 girls. I did the Emily Sky Fit app, and I would have done that at home. I actually went on to another PT's program, which was absolutely horrible. Hated it, every minute of it. And she invited me onto your group, and I just kind of sat on the sidelines and watched for ages. I was like, what is this? Actually, at first I thought, here we go again. Another one of these. On the balcony, and she had like this cream skirt on, and she had this huge ass. And I was thinking, God, that girl is in incredible shape. And at one picture, I was like, Jesus. And at that age, I didn't know anything about the one-to-one coaching. I hadn't kind of reached out. I was just kind of like sitting on the sidelines. I think I actually bought the bikini guide and didn't even do it. I was like, fuck that, I'm not even doing that. And then when I spoke to Sarah, I was like, right, I need to either jump or just let it go. Because I had tried everything. I was working out. I was trying everything. I was at that stage. I was even going to the gym and kind of being there for hours, doing absolutely airy-fairy nothing, and looking back, thinking, why am I not changing? I was doing those crappy Instagram workouts that were like on the stepper and all that shit that it doesn't work. And then I made the jump, and honestly, it was like the easiest thing. Once I spoke to Sarah, it was like everything kind of like just fell into place with it.
Tell us a little bit about then in terms of how things have actually changed, because you're now off. Well, you can tell things in your own story.
Yeah, I'm off.
In terms of what you said there at the start of this call about all of those things, all of those impacts, how have those things now changed over the last year?
Even talking about it, what my life was like back then, it still gets me really, really emotional. I feel like really upset about it because I let go on so long. But I started in the gym, really, really nervous still. Like, I'm not going to go in there saying, I was fine. I was terrified. But I had a program then that I could go in with, and I knew what I was doing every day, which really, really helped. The little app was like a godsend, because I didn't have to speak to anybody. I didn't have to like look up from what I was doing. I just chucked my headphones in and I went on my app, and it laid out everything really, really simply for me. The confidence side of things has increased like tenfold. I would never have got on even to a live chat and spoke to anybody. Even going into the gym, there are some days, yes, my anxiety is shitty, but going to the gym is like relief. For me now, I'm not on any medication. I don't see any psychiatrists, and that is 9 years now in the making for me to be able to say I don't see anybody. I don't think my anxiety will ever leave, but the gym now gives me like this way to manage. If I'm having a bad day, I know if I go to the gym for half an hour, I'll come out of it feeling like such a better person. It makes me feel just confident in being me again, which is like a huge thing for anybody that probably has anxiety gets it. Like, you just overthink yourself. You're really harsh critic on yourself. So that's changed. Like, I allow myself to have like a shitty day, and it's okay, and I don't go to the extremes. Like, I could have been in the gym this Saturday night from 9:30 to 11 o'clock for what? It was crazy.
So you said yourself there that somebody invited you into the group, you started watching and stuff.
Yeah.
What was and then you're sort of like, I'm sure some people come into this here, they've done, a lot of people we speak to have done a lot of different things in the past.
Yeah.
And they may be like you, sort of, here we go again. So what was the sort of defining moment for you in terms of you sort of going all in with us? Getting over that sort of just another fitness people?
Yeah, I honestly did. That was my one concern. And I spoke about it with my husband beforehand, thinking, God, is this just like another one of these things I want to buy into? And once I get my program, I'll be like, thanks, bye, cheerio. And that was my concern, because I think a lot of PTs give you this program and just assume that you know what you're doing. They give you a whole, like, hit these calories and hit these macros. And like, us normal people haven't a clue what a macro is, or what even how to work my fitness pal half the time. So that was the thing that I liked, that Sarah took the time to make sure that I understood what my macros actually were and exactly how to break them down. And at the start, I would have been able to, do my food plan with her even for maybe like a day or two, and send over to her and say, Claire, you're not hitting that. Try changing this, or try adding that in. And the fact I could have like my own foods made a big difference, because the PT plans I bought before was like, in the morning you'll have porridge, and then by lunch you're going to have fish, and it wasn't even food that I wanted to eat. And you're like, oh, can you substitute your fish for such and such? Oh, well, not really. It didn't. The programs I tried before, there was no flexibility, and that is why I never stuck. It was someone else's food that they enjoyed eating. I didn't enjoy eating. So it was never going to work for me. And I also have a family to feed, and I can't be cooking 4 different meals in the kitchen of a night when I'm trying to do school homeworks and fit everything else in that was my life. I wanted it to fit me, and not me have to change my whole being to get a program that worked.
So you've been in for a year, so I want you to tell the ones who are going to be watching this a little bit more about how things have changed for you. Obviously, your body confidence was a huge thing here with anxiety, the medication, the fear factor you had to doing a lot of things. So that's changed dramatically over the last year. So tell us a little bit about the actual results side of things in terms of how your physique has changed, and what we've sort of done and what you've sort of implemented over the last year.
So I actually went back to my progress chart before I came on with you this morning to look and just see, because it's one thing I actually have never done, is go back and look at my own measurements, because you just take them on the weekly. When I first started, my very first check-in, I was 66 kilos. And by my 3rd week, I was down to 61. Now, a lot of that probably is just water and could have been bloat. So going off by week, so I'm week 3 that was my very first bulk. And I'm week 3 now into my 2nd, and I am actually sitting at 2.5 kilos heavier than what I was when I started. But my body looks completely different, and I'm eating so much more food, and I'm absolutely loving it. So my glutes, my hips that I took at the start were 83 centimeters. They're now 87.1. That was what shocked me the most. I couldn't actually believe that I had grown so much by eating so much food. It's actually text there this morning, and look how much I've actually grown. And I went into the bulk, I think my first time around 1,700 calories, just as a baseline, because I honestly didn't know where my calories were, but I never tracked before I came to Sarah. I didn't track. I kind of I ate clean, which was ridiculous. And then when we started adding things in, and bars of chocolate on my bulk, but my body was changing. And I was getting stronger. That was the one thing that I never set out to be. I never wanted to be skinny. I never came to Sarah and said, I want to lose weight. I just needed a change. And I didn't know whether I needed to do bulk or prep. And I just let Sarah decide for me, right, Claire, I think you need to go down this path, because I honestly didn't know. And when I went into bulk, I didn't lift heavy. I probably never used a bar in the gym because I was absolutely terrified going into the weight section. So I kind of stuck those little dumbbells or the machines. But when I was in my bulk, I did it for 7 months, and there was nothing more exciting to me than when I got a new personal best in a squat and a deadlift. It didn't matter what it was. That became my focus, was to get stronger. And I think that's what changed my mental anxiety then, because it was something that I could overcome. Really, really small things. I could overcome that weight. I could overcome that weight. So it gave me like this mental strength to know what, Claire, you can do things that you didn't think you could do before. It gave me like a belief in myself that if I didn't lift it or if I didn't get it, it's fine, you'll do it next time, and only I could change it. And I think that's what I relied on somebody so long for, to change my mental state. When I started training the gym, I realised only I can change it. Only I can make the jumps to get myself there, and I built my confidence like tenfold. Like a completely different person. And I think then whenever Sarah I had got bored of the bulk then, like 7 months, I was like, I'm bored now. I need goals, and it might only be silly things. And she then suggested the photo shoot, and then that scared the crap out of me.
Yeah, I was going to come on to this here. So it was, so, you know, whenever she mentioned the photo shoot, you've done your photo shoot and stuff. From a confidence side of thing, you said a few moments ago that, you know, you wouldn't even have wanted to come on and chat like this previous to this, and now you're getting in front of the camera. So talk us through that a little bit.
Terrifying call. Oh my! I kind of didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew I didn't want to bulk anymore. I was kind of over it. We were coming into the summer months. I had a holiday coming up actually, and I just thought, I don't want to be big. I wasn't big. I just wanted to feel like, I don't know, a little bit more like defined and see what I've built for 7 months. She's like, oh, why don't we do a photo shoot? I was like, what? But then in my stupidity, I thought, it's ages away. Sure, it'll be fine. We'll do a photo shoot. So I booked it. Oh my God, it was the most terrifying experience of my life that day, sitting outside that car park. And the prep was like the easiest thing compared to packing my suitcase up and driving to Bangor in my little car and sitting outside and being like, what the hell am I actually doing? Why did I do this? Like, and in my prep, I actually have had many conversations with Sarah saying, I can't do this, Sarah. Like, I honestly can't do this. I had really rough days in prep. My business and my personal life were like in prep, and actually in the end, it was probably the only thing that was stable. Was my training that kind of kept me like on the ground, didn't let me like lose my mind. And that day was like the most amazing day. It was so much fun. When I met Peter, he was lovely. And once that first shoot is done, you don't even realise you're standing there in your brand knickers. I felt like I was just in my gym gear. And when I came out of it, I would have come back in and done it all over again. It was the most confidence building thing to have, to stand in front of someone else who doesn't have to be nice to you, who isn't your coach, who isn't your family, and tell you, you actually look really good, you've got nice strong legs, or this looks good. To have it come from a stranger really boosted my confidence. And I would never, ever, ever have done a photo shoot without Sarah being behind me, shoving me, like, you'll be fine, you'll be doing it, you'll fine. It was amazing.
Awesome. Tell us then just lastly about, you know, as an overview with the confidence coming from, like, in terms of, you know, you're on the medication stuff for like 9 years, trying a lot of different things. You come in, you've done the coaching, you ended up getting on camera and stuff and skimpy clothes. So looking back over that sort of time frame, how does that feel now to me?
It feels, oh my goodness, it feels amazing. I'm now back to training. That my very first trade was a beautician when I left school, so I'm back there again. I am now in the business of setting up a makeup studio in my own home, which I would never have done before. It's like I found my teenage self all over again. I just feel like I don't think I could ever give it up. I don't think I could ever give fitness up. It wouldn't matter how busy my life got. And Sarah's like she's become like a real friend to me. And I'm sure I have her tortured, but I text her just random shite all day, and she's never like horrible, and she's always in the background going like, you're being ridiculous, and she will pull you in line and tell you when you're being stupid. She will pull you in line saying like, you're not pushing yourself in the gym, and that's what I need. Confidence wise, I think like I'm like a completely different person. I'm nicer, I'm a better mum for sure, I'm definitely a better wife, and I would like to think I'm just a nicer person. And I think in the gym itself, people get a wee bit scared, I think, of the gym. And I would say don't be, because a lot of people in the gym, you'll find, well, I found a lot of them are in there because they started off like me. They were anxious, they were miserable. And a lot of the time, if you just go in there without any expectations on yourself, you'd be actually really surprised at how far you can go and how far You can push yourself, and it just takes you getting like a wee bit of like courage, a wee bit of like your lady balls, and just saying, you know what, it's fine. You'll do it, and if you fail, so what? Like, it's fine. And I would hate to go back to living the life that I lived before, because I was absolutely miserable. I couldn't have went on holiday. I hated traveling with my friends. I actually cut trips short. It was just horrendous, an absolutely horrendous way to live your life in fear of your own brain every single day. And that's how I felt, terrified.
Yeah, it's been an odd, like, again, obviously Sarah's been the main person looking after you and stuff, and it's been all me watching things in the background. It's been awesome to see how things have changed for you.
Yeah.
Lastly then, from being someone who was on the fence, getting invited in the group going, here we go again, just another fitness people, what would you say to someone who's perhaps in a similar position now to you, in the group, looking at things, watching these here, seeing other people? What would your advice be to someone like that who was kind of stuck perhaps in a similar position to where you were?
I would say, because at the start I felt as a mom, and I don't know if there's many moms on here, at first I thought, is this incredibly selfish of me to A, take the time for myself, and B, to spend the money on myself? But if you're sitting on the fence and you're in the group already, you already have the drive there to want to make the change, because you're not going to stay somewhere and watch if it's not in the back of your head that you want to grow. Secondly, reach out to me, reach out to Lisa. I will be 100% honest. If I didn't think that I was putting my money and my time into something that was beneficial to me, I just wouldn't do it. I'm not stupid. A lot of the girls probably start off with you the same: lose weight, lose weight, lose weight. And it's not always about the losing of the weight. And reaching out to the coaches, even if it's just to book a chat, book a call. And if you don't get along, then you haven't lost anything. It doesn't cost you to make the call. And you don't have to stay there forever. You could do 4 weeks, you could do 8 weeks. I just happened to stay because it was working for me. I mean, no one's going to hold a gun to your head and say you can't leave. You know, make the call, see how you go. But if you don't get something from it, I would be very surprised, because I got more than just fitness from it. And that was only because Sarah had enough faith and you guys had enough faith in me to see that you'll be fine. I would just say jump. You've got nothing to lose. Just make the jump, make the call.
Yeah, well, important point you made there, was for you it's not been about losing weight. So it has, you pretty much had life on pause. Sort of stuck in a rubble of confidence, the medication, and you've turned that around now, got off that newfound love for yourself, your confidence, and a new career on the go. So it's so much more than just losing weight or losing a couple of pounds for a lot of people. Super, that's awesome. Thank you for taking some time this morning to speak to us.